Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day once more. Double checking Bitcoin, kind of just recapping our analysis from earlier today. Try to make this afternoon one just a little bit faster and quicker so we kind of get the bumper sticker version of what's going on. The simple way to understand it, we're in this transition right now for Bitcoin, and it's probably best not to take a trade to the upside or downside. And the main reason why is because we're stuck in this little range here between 66.8 and 67.8. Those are just some round numbers there. Basically, this $1,000 range, the price action is having difficulty crossing that. Keep in mind, this is a bullish type of continuation pattern, so the likelihood of the price breaking upwards is higher. We've traded these patterns before with great success, but you want to make sure that that has confirming factors too. There are still a lot of confirming factors, but we're testing this ascending trend line. We're now within the cloud. It's generally construed as a no buy zone. Okay, so it's kind of where we're at there. Thanks again so much for the awesome feedback. Everyone who's been following me and watching me for a while, even recently, thank you again so much. Deeply appreciate you hitting the like button every time, and obviously commenting below if you get a chance. Either way you look at it, let's take a look at the liquidation. 7 days on the left, 30 on the right, and the quick understanding here is that not much has changed. We still got some liquidation upwards of 68 to 69K. That's really standard for this situation here. There's probably a good, 30, 40 billion in liquidation if you kind of add this all up together between now and like 69.5 is the round number. So we could see one last ditch effort to that level. I think it's less likely just based on how much liquidation delta we had earlier today. That could have changed though. Let's double check and see. Let's scroll down here. Nope, this hasn't changed. People are still taking longs at 67,000. I personally think this is a little bit on the foolhardy side just based on the simple fact that while it could continue higher, this is somewhat of a breakout trade scenario. So if it doesn't break out, you're going to be kind of screwed. Truthfully, breakout traders, not really the highest success rate in trends that we're seeing lately. So just some friendly advice, maybe wait for it to pick a side first before you take a trade. That's generally the idea. But either way, we can see somewhere in the range of about between 8 and 9 billion in liquidation delta to the upside, basically just implying there's way too many longs in the market in the last 5 trading days. And as per usual, we got our most amount of open interest at 62,300, but the local resistance here, not necessarily resistance, but is generally construed as such. We have our local 67,100. That is basically the most recent open interest. So ever since we've been in this range, we've seen the most amount of positions at that level, and we're right there at smack dab right in the middle of it. We're at 67.50 right now. So that's basically where we're at. So that's the summary of the back end. The front end generally is still looking good. Just keep in mind we're seeing some cracks in the glass here with stochastic swinging down. Rejected off of 70, close to 70 rather, on the RSI, and money flow index is finally peaking above, but generally speaking, that's kind of a false positive considering the whole price action here. So I don't trust that kind of money flow index here. While it's important to recognize that it's there, it still doesn't necessarily mean that it's worth taking long. I think what it should tell us is that it's not worth taking a short. I know that sounds crazy and weird, not shorting the top, but until Bitcoin picks a side, I think we should kind of presume it's going to continue to range and inevitably just kind of explode up or down. So the range that we're in right now, again, between 66.8 and 67.8, once again, those round numbers, can see it pretty clear on the 4-hour time frame, just kind of letting us know that we're range bound. We have this lower point of control at 67,000. That's really close to our open interest level, and generally just a consistent nature about this here, right? So if we do take a look at the moving averages, which I did skip over this on the daily, we're above all moving averages, by the way. Nothing really to note there. The 4-hour, though, is more so telling us that we're testing our trend right now. Okay, we got this ascending trend, generally runs concurrent in most cases with a 20-day SMA or 50 in some cases. In this situation, we're seeing it run well with the 20. So if we can maintain above the 20, probably pretty good. We close below the 20, maybe a different story. Now, again, you got to keep in mind, as soon as you close below or above a simple moving average, it doesn't mean hardly anything. It simply tells us that, hey, we might have shifted momentum and we may want to consider not being just blatantly bullish anymore. And we're right on the edge there. Again, trend lines tend to have a tendency of continuing until they don't. But at this point, the whole emphasis there would be until they don't, because at this range, it does feel like we're losing that level. 4-hour time frame also shows us here a couple of things. Let me go ahead and pull up the indicators. We can kind of see we're tapering off below 70, which isn't bad at all. This is still a good sign. But stochastic trying to swing up, kind of letting us know that we're having our initial attempt to regain this level. But our trend strength indicators kind of getting down there. Our MACD is still diverging. We have a lot of reasons why, from a momentum standpoint, it doesn't make a ton of sense to take a long, because the momentum of the upside is delayed, if you will. Okay. Now keep in mind, again, these bullish type of rectangle patterns do have a tendency of breaking out to the upside even higher than a lot of other patterns. So if you're not familiar, we have a chart pattern section here. And when you look at this kind of channel or scenario here, it's an 80% success rate that the rectangle will break to the upside. But what that could very well mean for us is just a simple little liquidation sweep of the 68, 69K and right back down again. It may not mean anything because we're starting to shift that momentum. And you got to recognize patterns have a tendency of fulfilling themselves, but if they have contributing factors present with them. We're starting to lose that the longer we stay in this range. So while in most cases you can usually find success, you probably will find more success trading to the upside right now with Bitcoin. That is not the story for altcoins, so please do not get that twisted. Bitcoin dominance is astronomically high, and altcoins are very much suffering right now. We've got some pretty decent profit in the chamber here for some altcoins. We took SCI and ICP profits here. One was a week old, the other one was a couple days old, but we have a new ICP trade as well. So technically 2 shorts in ICP in last week, both in profits. Again, I'm avoiding Bitcoin, right? Main reason why is because I want to establish or break its channel rather before we go into a trade. In other words, tell us what direction you're heading Bitcoin first before we take a trade. And keep in mind, just because if we break above this channel here at just say 68K, I'm not just going to instantly take a long, right? That's more so a breakout trade. As soon as you break out, you take a long. You can have some success with that if you follow it closely, but generally speaking, from a swing trader's perspective, you want to wait for a bullish backtest and a consolidation in that area first. A lot of things will bridge later, but at this point, I think either of these two scenarios are pretty likely here. We either break to the upside and continue higher, or we break down and likely continue lower. We may even see a power of 3, which would basically mean the price action is here, breaks down here, fakes everybody out to go short, and then it just takes off and goes long. Those things can all happen and exist at the same time. It's really funky, the market. But the truth is right now, there's not enough data here to really warrant me to take a long or a short position. I don't like taking longs at this range. Granted, I missed some opportunities, but I definitely don't like taking shorts until it at the very least, breaks its local support, which at this point is 66,800. Cool. So that's what we got there. I hope that made sense. Thanks again so much for watching. Again, please hit the like button, get this in front of more people, help prevent those moon boys from getting the views and destroying people's accounts. I post to Twitter, Telegram, and Discord playout chart pretty consistently here. A lot of data is available here. So if you're kind of familiar with how coins are looking, I have that all here. So just friendly advice. That's what we're looking at there. And we'll look forward to working with you. If you want to join up on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord, or also feel free to jump on over to our Discord. Honestly, we got some really good traders here. A lot of new members coming over, so future reference, sorry, just a little sidebar here. Make sure you read through our trade alerts. I send kind of heads up on trades I'm planning to take. Those inevitably become signals. And then, of course, I got a signals guide here, too. So if you're going to follow my trade signals, make sure that you read through this so you are prepared for that. Not everyone trades the same as I do. Everyone's risk tolerance is different. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.